Singapore is well known for innovation and efficiency, and central to developing that reputation are the people it's been able to attract to live and work within its borders. These are people leading in innovation across a variety of fields, using Singapore as a regional base, an incubator for ideas and technologies that are then implemented elsewhere in the region and ultimately the world. A number of key facets have made this possible: the nation's small size, dependable and extensive infrastructure, and a multicultural English-speaking population. It's an oasis in the middle of a dynamic region, a jumping-off point for more challenging, developing Asian markets nearby. That's meant a global mix of thinkers and innovators can come here and turn ideas into results. Paul Bennett grew up in Singapore, the son of a British RAF pilot. Now he's Chief Creative Officer for a design agency, IDEO. Though his job is a global one, IDEO has a number of offices around the world. He always returns eager to resume the work he leads at its Singapore office, inside a converted shophouse on Circular Road.
I think Singapore is an incredibly optimistic place. It was a place that was founded on optimism. I think it was a place that was founded on the belief that change was possible and the belief that change was necessary, and it has done that and has constantly evolved itself and constantly rethought itself. For people that do what we do, there's a perfect ground conditions.
Those ground conditions have allowed IDEO to employ a unique model of public-private partnership with the Singapore government, one that's ripe for export to other Asia-Pacific countries. It's a unique kind of design agency, specializing in building and growing businesses and institutions through the power of design and creative thinking. It's worked with local organizations such as the Ministry of Manpower and the Changi Hospital System to rethink the way people use them.
We are here to help bring design and human sort of centeredness into the Singaporean system. We were invited here by the Singapore government, which I think is in itself quite an interesting story, that a government wanted to bring design and design sort of process and design methodology into its world.
Jackie Ying is founder and executive director of the Institute of Bioengineering and Nanotechnology. Here at the Biopolis complex, surrounded by hundreds of scientists from around the world, she's able to take her research into biomaterials and biodevices to levels that have a global impact.
We are very highly multidisciplinary. This means that we have biologists working with chemists, material scientists, engineers, as well as medical doctors, together to tackle complex problems. It's really the environment of being able to bring together people from different parts of the world with very diverse background and new ideas coming together with all the resources that are provided, allow people to really move ahead with the innovation.
Ying's lab has received attention for its microkit, a portable testing device for infectious diseases. It could be placed at airports, for example, and used to quickly test for diseases such as SARS or H1N1. Technologies like this are ideally suited for implementation in countries across Asia-Pacific in particular, and it's thanks to institutions like Biopolis that Singapore is building not only a strong scientific knowledge base, but also developing products with significant real-world applications.
Over the last 10 years especially, Singapore has been able to attract a critical mass of talented people to come here. And this in turn draws people to come in and work with us to further develop the technologies into commercializable products. I think it's a wonderful place to raise a family and to pursue a research career.
Scott Anthony, who relocated to Singapore with his family in 2010, is Managing Director of Asia-Pacific Operations at InnoSight, a management consulting and investment company. His expertise lies in advising companies on how to innovate, and in Singapore there's a great demand for this. The firm also provides venture capital to startups, fostering innovation from the ground up.
If any country knows something about process excellence, it's Singapore. And if you can take the great ability the country has shown to be disciplined and efficient in processes, and you can teach people how to apply that discipline to the creation of new products, services, business models, and so on, then you can do something very, very special.
This potential, as well as the government's approach to aiding both local and international companies that want to operate here, has turned Singapore into an important regional hub for foreign businesses.
We have seen increasingly large companies based in the United States or Europe looking to Singapore to be essentially their regional outpost for innovation, where they're going to drive some of the creation, some of the strategic thinking behind what they're going to do in markets like India and China and other places in the region. Singapore is close enough to those markets that it serves as a great communication line, but it's also a great place to come back from those markets and compare.
Across all sectors, this is increasingly a place where the world meets to innovate. It's an entry point into Asia for multinational companies and increasingly conducive to startups as well. Singapore has intelligently positioned itself as a testing ground for new ideas, a strong base in which to build them for export, and a regional headquarters from which to tap the region's vast potential.
I came out to Singapore 2.5 years ago because I believed it was very well positioned to be one of the leading lights of the next generation of innovation. And I think it is legitimate to believe that Singapore can be the hotspot for innovation in Asia over the course of the next couple of decades.
This is the moment that Singapore is ready to leap, and you can kind of feel it in the air.